What's up, everyone? Triple Crown 24 back at you with another TTM recap episode. I only have one to share with you today, but it's better than none. I struck out at the mailbox every day after Monday last week. They've been a little slow lately. I've been trying to put out more TTM videos, but it's been hard to do just because I haven't gotten many returns. I sent out another batch over Saturday and today that have some more retired players, so hopefully I'll be able to get more returns, but I've been trying some more high-risk returns where, there's a pretty good chance I won't get it back, but hey, it'll make for a pretty cool video if I do. So we'll just show this off, and then I'm going to talk about the All-Star Game rosters, which were released yesterday. No postmark. That means it's usually from the Reds, Red Sox, or Royals, and it is from the latter team. I don't know why. I just never get postmarks from those teams. This is a 2-of-2 success coming back in 30 days from one of the best TTM signers out there, Danny Duffy. Signed 2-of-2. First one is on this 18 Heritage Baseball based on the 1969 Topps design. One of the better designs in my opinion. We'll talk about it in the Every Topps Baseball Design Rank series a little bit later on. But definitely one of the best designs in the 90s and one of my favorites. You'll have to see where I rank it a little bit later on. These are really nice cards. I think these are a little bit nicer. The 2018 Topps for my set. Go ahead and move it back, kind of reflecting the camera there. Top right corner there, kind of by the Topps logo, did get a little dinged, but that's all right because it is for the set. I think this is card number 21, so really cool to get this one back. So thank you, Mr. Duffy, for returning both of those. That's the only success I have today, so if you're looking for that, there you go. But in terms of the All-Star rosters, what I will say is overall, I think they did a pretty good job of selecting them. And by they, I mean the fans as well as the players and coaches and anyone who votes, and then the MLB for picking the mandatory representatives of all the teams. I do like that. My only problem, I would say, with the mandatory representatives this year would be with the Kansas City Royals. They don't have too many good players, and unfortunately the player who probably would have been their representative, Kelvin Herrera, was traded. He was probably a hot commodity around the trade deadline, or at least was expected to be, but it was actually moved in June, a rare June trade. So he was not able to be selected on behalf of the Royals. There were some controversial selections, I would say more specifically in the American League, where guys like George Springer got in, and I would say even Nelson Cruz was a little bit controversial. Those guys were selected, and then some guys were omitted from the final vote ballot, and especially some of the outfielders who were passed up for those guys. The biggest ones that I've seen are Andrew Benintendi, Eddie Rosario, and Nicholas Castellanos. Castellanos being a tough one for me as a Tigers fan. And instead, these teams, the Red Sox had plenty of representatives anyways, but the Twins and Tigers only had one just because they aren't some of the better teams in baseball, with Jose Barrios and Joe Jimenez of the Twins and Tigers respectively. Those are all fine selections. I really like that every team does get one, and both those guys are deserving, but my theory on all that is that a lot of those selections were just to fill out a roster that, kind of resembles the other league's roster in terms of the number of players at each position. And really my biggest question with the people who selected this is why. Because a lot of these players don't end up playing in the game anyways. I've seen more and more so, especially in recent years, that a lot of starters are going into like the 6th and the 7th inning, and then they're bringing in the reserves to play the last few innings. A lot of these guys aren't going to make it into the games anyways, especially some of the pitchers. And some of the pitchers, it won't hurt them to throw 2 innings if you absolutely need to have them throw 2 innings. So my philosophy is, Joe Jimenez probably won't end up playing in the game anyway, so why not give it to Nicholas Castellanos, who I think should have been the Tigers representative. Eddie Rosario, same thing. I don't know if Jose Barrios will get a chance to pitch in this game, so why not have Eddie Rosario in there? Just my 2 cents, and then I think Blake Snell being omitted with the best ERA in the American League is absolutely ridiculous. Snell has had an amazing season so far, the best of his career, and he's definitely, I believe, a top 3 Cy Young candidate right now. I'd say he's up there with the likes of Sale, Kluber, Verlander, all those guys. But I'm sure he will be added as a replacement player at some point. He will be an all-star at some point just because there are players who decide not to go, or, players who can't play because they pitched on Sunday, whatever it might be. So let me know what you guys think down below. Are there any snubs that you thought were really insane, or anyone who you're really surprised to see named the All-Star team? Who do you think will win the game? Me personally, I think the American League has a really good chance of winning. The National League has a really solid roster. The only guy who I really have a gripe with for being on the roster is Bryce Harper, but it is an all-star game, and the fans voted him in just because he is a star. I guess that's more of an appeal to the casual fans. Whatever that may be, I still think that the American League roster is really stacked, especially offensively. They have a really solid starting lineup. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.